Hi everyone, Paul Micallef here from Aspergers from the Inside. I make weekly videos sharing the human side of autism, so make sure you hit subscribe to get the latest content. So, have you ever had the feeling that life is a little bit overwhelming? At times, maybe you're feeling a bit tired or burnt out. It's like it's a non-stop, never-ending to-do list, and there's always more coming, and it never seems to stop. So I know that I feel like that quite regularly, especially when I've been doing the same thing for a long time. So I love routine quite a lot, as many of in our community do. But what I find is that sometimes that routine just kind of evolves by itself into something that is just not nearly as efficient or as life-giving as it originally started out to be. So in this video, I'm going to share some of what I do to have a reset of all of that stuff, to kind of just take a break and put everything away and stop thinking about all of the things that I would normally do on a day-to-day basis, so that I can completely reset and start again afresh. So this is my first video back in 2022. I've just taken about 6 weeks off where I didn't check my email, I didn't make any videos, I didn't do any interviews or webinars or anything like that. And I definitely needed a really long time off, or at least 6 weeks off, because what I found was when I stopped doing the daily grind that I had been through all of 2021, it took quite a while for my brain to slowly transition out of that really hurried, tired, overwhelmed, burnt out kind of space. So for the first couple of weeks after taking a break, I still felt like I was really stressed. And it was a bit strange. Like, what? I don't have anything in my diary. Why am I so stressed? Why do I feel like I don't have enough time? Why am I worried and anxious that the 6 weeks is just going to fly by like that, and then I'll be straight back into it and just as stressed and overwhelmed as I was before? So I think that's a fairly natural response there. Maybe you can relate to that. And what I found was, even though I felt like that, after a little while, it was slowly winding down, and it probably took 3 or 4 weeks before I started to actually feel the fact that I had taken a break. So after those 3 or 4 weeks, I started to actually feel relaxed. I started to actually enjoy just spending time doing not very much at all, and started to actually value rest. Last year, I kind of felt like rest was had to be optimized because I didn't have much time for rest, so I needed to make sure it counted so that I could go back to being productive again. And clearly that's not a very helpful way to think about things, because if rest is supposed to be productive, then I'm not really resting at all. I'm actually just doing work in my rest time, trying to recover my brain cells and executive function and all of that stuff that I need to do the things that I actually call productive. So the cure to that, or at least one strategy to use when you're feeling overwhelmed and tired and possibly burnt out and things like that, is to have a complete reset. And what does a reset do? We stop doing everything that we were originally doing, so that when we started again, we start doing things that we choose to do rather than things. So last time I was basically doing things out of habit. I was doing things out of routine. I had fallen into some habits and ways of doing things, and they weren't necessarily serving me. So having a reset means that I can reevaluate, do I actually want to be doing these things? What do I want to start again? And then I can start with a completely clean slate and add only 1 or 2 things. I don't have to add everything again and try and juggle so many balls in the air at the same time. I actually had a similar experience of this. I worked as an engineer for about 5 years, and I took a break. I went traveling for 18 months. And when I came back, I had the choice of, do I try and find another job as an engineer? Do I try and slot back into my previous life? And my overwhelming feeling was, why would I do that? And why would I take all of this time off and just ignore it and jump straight back into my previous life? So it gives a really strong motivation to ask the question, what do I want to do now? What do I want to choose to be in my life? And everything that I don't choose to be in my life is going to get left behind because it probably wasn't that important anyway. So this year, I'm going to try and do this a lot more often, have more regular resets, and I'll make another video next week around my plan to avoid burnout for an entire 12 months. So I'll tell you more about that next week. But resets don't need to be this massive 6-week break where I dropped absolutely everything. I mean, they're fantastic because they can be very powerful if you're able to take a complete break from everything. But you could have a reset at the end of every day. You could have a reset at the end of every week. Before you start work on Monday again, for those of us who work on Monday to Friday, take some time to finish up, pack away everything you did in the previous week, and decide what you're going to take with you into the next week, rather than just going through the motions again and again just for the sake of it. So, as you might notice, a lot of this really leads into what I'm doing with my life coaching work. Like, the whole point of life coaching is to ask the question, what would you like to do? Where would you like to be? And we assess the current situation and then come up with actionable things that you can do so you can actually get to where you're aiming to get to. So it's been really nice to have this constant reminder to reassess what I'm doing every once in a while, to have a reset, whether it's the end of every week, whether it's the end of every month. Last year I had a goal to have a reset at the end of every month and it didn't work very well. So I have some ideas, again, which I'll share with you next week, of how I'm planning to do that better this year. But I guess I should probably leave it there. I've just remembered, I'm viscerally feeling how hard it is to say goodbye and wrap up and feel like I've said everything and not have this regret and remorse that, I forgot to say that one thing, and if only I had rambled on for a little bit more, it would have come to mind and I would have said it. Why am I telling you that? Anyway, so welcome back to 2020. I'm looking forward to this year again. I hope you found this video valuable. I'm back life coaching again. So if you're looking for someone who can understand autism, whether that's your own autism or in your partner, then feel free to get in touch if you're interested in that. I was pretty full up last year and then I had to take a break as I've explained, but I'm back with availability in February if that's something you're interested in. I'll put a link in the description if you'd like to get more information about that. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Hope you've found this valuable again, and I will see you again next week.